Kylie Jenner stood in the penthouse conference room of her Los Angeles headquarters, the California sunset casting golden light over the sleek glass walls. At 27, she was more than just a beauty mogul. She was a self-made empire. Kylie Cosmetics wasn't just her brand. It was her creation, built on late nights, intuition, and relentless ambition. Her journey had been anything but easy, especially growing up in the shadow of a famous family. But Kylie had always carved her own path, proving that she wasn't just another Kardashian Jenner. She was a powerhouse in her own right. This particular evening felt like any other, a final espresso in hand, reviewing new product launches, finalizing plans for a global skincare expansion. Her team buzzed with excitement outside her glass office. Then, a notification flashed across her phone. Urgent, executive board meeting. 7 p.m. mandatory. No warning, no agenda. Kylie frowned. A flicker of unease stirred in her gut. But she brushed it off. She trusted her inner circle. She had built this team carefully. Still, as she headed toward the private boardroom, high heels clicking against marble floors, a strange chill filled the air. Waiting inside, seated confidently at the head of the table, was her sister, Kim Kardashian. And Kim was smiling. Kylie paused at the doorway, heart pounding. Kim looked effortlessly composed. Designer suit flawless, diamond earrings catching the last rays of sunset. Around the massive glass table, the other board members sat unusually silent, their expressions unreadable. Before Kylie could speak, Kim's voice sliced through the tension, cool, calm, rehearsed. "We voted, Kylie," Kim announced, her manicured fingers lightly drumming the table. "Effective immediately. You're stepping down as CEO of Kylie Cosmetics." Kylie blinked, stunned. "What?" Kim smiled thinly, almost pityingly. "The board believes the brand needs stronger leadership for the next phase. Global expansion, aggressive growth, real power moves." It hit Kylie like a slap. This wasn't just business, it was personal. Kim had been hinting for months about helping Kylie run the company, offering unsolicited advice, setting up mysterious meetings Kylie had always declined. Now, Kim had made her move. Kylie felt dozens of eyes on her, waiting for a meltdown, a scene. Instead, she straightened her shoulders, calm, cool, sharp as ever. Without missing a beat, Kylie pulled a leather folder from her tote bag, flipped it open, and said evenly, "Check the shareholder agreement. Section 312, paragraph 4. Kim's confident smile faltered, just slightly, and Kylie knew she had their attention now. Kim's manicured hand hovered for a moment before she reluctantly grabbed the printed agreement in front of her. The room was so silent, Kylie could hear the faint whir of the air conditioning. Kim flipped pages quickly, her eyes scanning, and then she froze. Kylie didn't rush. She watched with the same calm she'd used to build her empire when everyone said she was just another reality star. Jonathan Marks, Kylie Cosmetics' chief legal officer, and one of Kylie's oldest confidants, cleared his throat politely. Section 312 requires that any CEO replacement must have held an executive role within the company for no less than 3 years. His voice was polite, almost bored, but the implication was a bullet through the room. "How long have you been officially advising Kylie Cosmetics, Kim?" Jonathan asked. Eyebrows raised innocently. Kim's face tightened. 18 months. Kylie folded her arms. "Exactly, not even close." A ripple of murmurs passed among the board members. Some shifted uncomfortably in their chairs. Others stared at their phones, pretending not to be involved. And Jonathan continued, "Any change to this clause requires unanimous shareholder consent. As the majority shareholder," he glanced at Kylie, who nodded serenely, "she declines." Kim's expression turned ice cold. The battle lines were drawn. Kim stood slowly, her heels clicking sharply against the marble floor, her perfect posture betraying the anger simmering beneath. "You think this little loophole saves you?" she hissed, voice low and sharp. Kylie didn't flinch. "It's not a loophole, it's called planning ahead." Kim's gaze swept over the board members, searching for any sign of loyalty. But they avoided her eyes. Her plan was crumbling, and she knew it. "You're making a huge mistake, Kylie," Kim said, voice rising. "You're too cautious, too afraid to take Kylie Cosmetics global the way it deserves." Kylie's voice stayed calm, steady, cutting through Kim's fury. Risking everything for clout isn't leadership. It's recklessness. Kim's jaw tightened. This isn't over. With a final scathing glance, Kim turned and stormed out of the boardroom, her designer heels echoing loudly down the corridor. For a long moment, no one moved. Kylie turned to Jonathan. Now, she said evenly, we need to talk about why this meeting was scheduled without my consent. The board shifted uncomfortably. One by one, excuses tumbled out. Concern about Kylie's slower strategy. Impatience for quicker profits. Whispers of Kim's promises. Kylie listened without emotion, filing every betrayal neatly away in her mind. This wasn't just about business anymore. It was personal. One by one, Kylie dismantled their flimsy arguments. Calm, surgical, she pointed out how their impatience would have destroyed the brand's credibility, how rushed expansions tanked other beauty companies, how protecting Kylie Cosmetics' authenticity was the reason it remained iconic. By the end, 3 board members, the loudest ones, tendered their resignations in shame. Kylie accepted them with polite nods, already knowing replacements were ready. Jonathan had been preparing for this for weeks. As the meeting ended, Kylie stood in front of the towering windows of the headquarters she had built from scratch. Downtown Los Angeles glittered beneath her, a living, breathing monument to dreams and hustle. This city had taught her something important. Survival wasn't about noise. It was about resilience. Her phone buzzed. A new message. From Kim. Enjoy your little win, Kylie. This isn't over. Kylie showed it to Jonathan, who frowned deeply. Shall we start documenting everything? He asked. Absolutely, Kylie said, her voice steel under silk. And freeze Kim's access to all internal files immediately. Jonathan nodded. Already on it. Kylie took a slow, steady breath, feeling the full weight of the betrayal settle in her chest. She wasn't just fighting for her company anymore. She was fighting for everything she had built, against her own sister. The next morning, the atmosphere at Kylie Cosmetics was tense. Whispers traveled quickly. Everyone knew something had exploded behind the glass walls yesterday, even if they didn't know every detail. Kylie arrived early, as always, impeccably dressed, calm on the outside, even if her mind raced beneath the surface. Emily, her loyal assistant, greeted her with a worried look. Jonathan's waiting in your office, Emily said softly. Kylie headed straight there, heels tapping sharply against the polished floors. Jonathan stood when she entered, holding a sleek black tablet, his expression serious. We have a bigger problem, he said without preamble. Kylie braced herself. Tell me. Jonathan handed her the tablet. Access logs, internal security reports, and a list of confidential files that had been viewed and copied over the past 2 weeks. All linked back to one user, Kim Kardashian. Kylie scrolled through the evidence, her stomach sinking. Kim hadn't just tried to take over the company. She'd been siphoning strategic plans, financial forecasts, and new product designs. She's preparing something, Jonathan said grimly, probably with outside help. Kylie's mind raced. She could think of one person, Carter West, a notorious private equity shark, known for gutting companies and selling them off piece by piece. And Kim, desperate for a shortcut, would absolutely partner with him. This wasn't a betrayal anymore. It was a war. Kylie closed the tablet gently, her jaw tightening. We need undeniable proof, she said, voice low but full of command. Not just suspicion. Jonathan nodded. I thought the same. I've already reached out to Noah Grant, our cybersecurity lead. He's loyal and good. Bring him in discreetly, Kylie said firmly. Kim can't know we're onto her yet. Jonathan left immediately to set things in motion. Kylie stood alone in her office for a moment, letting the weight of it all settle. Kim had crossed lines that couldn't be uncrossed. Betrayal in business was ugly. Betrayal from family was devastating. Her phone buzzed again. A text from her mom, Kris Jenner. Family dinner tonight. Mandatory. No excuses. Kylie sighed heavily. She could already picture it. A battlefield disguised as a dinner table. By the time evening rolled around, Kylie drove toward the familiar Calabasas mansion with a heavy heart. Inside, Kris greeted her at the door with a tight smile. Kylie barely had time to take off her jacket before she spotted Kim, already lounging elegantly on the living room sofa, sipping wine like nothing had happened. "Good of you to show up," Kim said coolly, flashing a perfect, dangerous smile. Kylie smiled back. Equally cold, she was ready. Dinner at the Jenner mansion was anything but peaceful. Chris tried to keep things light, complimenting Kylie's latest skincare line, asking Kim about upcoming collaborations. But the tension at the table was thick enough to cut with a knife. Finally, Kim set down her wine glass with a deliberate clink. "I had lunch with Carter West today," she said, casually, her eyes never leaving Kylie's face. Kylie's stomach twisted, but she didn't react outwardly. She simply set her fork down carefully and met Kim's gaze. "He thinks Kylie Cosmetics is underperforming," Kim added sweetly. "He sees massive potential, with the right leadership." Chris leaned in, curiosity piqued. "Tripling the company's value," he said. Kylie kept her voice even. "Tripling the value by gutting the brand, slashing staff, and turning it into another soulless machine." Kim shrugged, utterly unapologetic. "It's called smart business." Kylie's jaw tightened. It's called selling out everything we built for a quick check." Chris shifted uncomfortably, but said nothing. Kim smiled wider, sensing the room shifting slightly. "Maybe it's time for a little less emotion and a little more ambition, Kylie." Kylie leaned forward slowly, her voice quiet but lethal. "Ambition without loyalty isn't strength, Kim. It's greed." The room fell into tense, loaded silence. The silence hung heavy, thick with things unsaid. Chris cleared her throat nervously, trying to smooth over the growing cracks. "Maybe you two should work together," she offered weakly. "Find some middle ground." Kylie shook her head slowly, her voice calm but final. "There's no middle ground with betrayal," Kim scoffed, pushing her chair back sharply. "You're so dramatic, Kylie. Always the victim." Kylie stood, matching Kim's energy but with far more control. "You stole confidential files. You tried to force me out of my own company. You aligned yourself with Carter West, a man who destroys brands for fun. And you call me dramatic?" Kim's expression darkened, the cracks in her polished facade showing. "I'm saving us," she snapped. "You're too scared to take the risks we need to survive." Kylie's voice stayed cold, cutting. "No, I'm protecting what I built. You're willing to sell our name for fast money." Across the table, Chris's face paled. The weight of Kim's betrayal was undeniable now, even for a mother used to managing drama like a business deal. Finally, Chris spoke softly, her voice trembling slightly. "If you two can't resolve this, we may have no choice but to sell our shares entirely." Kylie's heart dropped. Her own family was considering walking away. For a moment, Kylie just stood there, stunned. Selling their shares meant losing everything: control, legacy, the foundation she had poured her soul into. Kim crossed her arms smugly, clearly thinking she had won. But Kylie caught something else in Chris's eyes: fear, not confidence. Her mother wasn't siding with Kim. She was desperate to stop the bleeding before the family fractured completely. Kylie inhaled deeply, steadying herself. "I'm not the one tearing this family apart," she said quietly. "I didn't start this war." Kim rolled her eyes dramatically. "No, you just refuse to adapt. You cling to old models like they're sacred." Kylie's voice sharpened. "Ethics aren't old-fashioned, Kim. Loyalty isn't old-fashioned." Chris stood abruptly, voice shaking. "Enough. If you can't fix this between yourselves, the Jenner Kardashian family will step back completely. We'll let outside investors decide what happens to Kylie Cosmetics." Kylie's stomach twisted painfully. She realized then, Kim hadn't just been after control. She was betting Kylie would never risk losing the family's stake, that she'd cave first. But Kim underestimated one thing. Kylie hadn't built her empire on fear. She had built it on strength. And she wasn't about to give it up without a fight, even if it meant standing alone. That night, back at her Beverly Hills home, Kylie sat alone in her office, the city lights flickering outside the floor-to-ceiling windows. Her phone buzzed. Noah Grant, her cybersecurity lead. "Noah, it's confirmed. Kim leaked confidential product plans to Carter West's team. I have full logs, emails, attachments, IP addresses." She tried to erase them, but not well enough. Kylie stared at the screen, her heart heavy. It was undeniable now. Proof. Betrayal documented in black and white. Jonathan called a minute later, voice steady. We're ready whenever you are. We can file a formal complaint first thing tomorrow. We can also notify the authorities if you want to push harder. Kylie leaned back in her chair, her fingers steepled in thought. Taking legal action against her own sister felt like the ultimate tragedy. But Kim had left her no choice. She knew exactly what she was doing, Kylie said quietly. We have to protect the company, no matter what. Jonathan's voice was gentle but firm. You're making the right call. As she hung up, Kylie felt the sadness roll through her. This wasn't just business anymore. It was the final, brutal cost of betrayal. Kim Kardashian had made her move. Now Kylie had to make hers. By morning, the news had already broken. Betrayal in the beauty empire. Kylie Jenner's company targeted by family insider. Sources confirm legal action imminent at Kylie Cosmetics. Kylie arrived at headquarters early, paparazzi flashing outside the gates, journalists scrambling for a statement. Inside, the mood was grim but united. Her core team, Jonathan, Noah, Emily, were already there, calm, focused. Jonathan handed her a final version of the press statement. Kylie read it once, twice, heart steady. It was perfect, honest, professional, and crystal clear. Kylie Jenner and Kylie Cosmetics are cooperating fully with authorities regarding internal security breaches. Ethical leadership remains our top priority. No drama, no name-calling, just facts. Later that afternoon, a formal legal notice was filed. Kim Kardashian was officially under investigation for corporate sabotage and breach of fiduciary duty. When the press caught wind of it, the internet exploded. Fans were divided. Some rushed to Kim's defense. Others rallied around Kylie, praising her strength and integrity. Meanwhile, Carter West's empire took a massive hit. Investors panicked. Deals collapsed. And just like that, Kim's grand plan, the merger, the takeover, the betrayal, began crumbling before her eyes. But Kylie knew better than to celebrate. The real battle was just beginning. And it wasn't just about saving a company anymore. It was about saving her legacy. That evening, as the city lights blinked against the darkening sky, Kylie's phone buzzed again. Mom, come home. Now I need to see you. Kim's here too. Kylie hesitated. Every part of her ached to refuse. But she knew some battles couldn't be avoided. She drove in silence to the family's Calabasas mansion, her heart heavy. Inside, Kris Jenner waited at the door, her face lined with exhaustion and sadness. In the living room, Kim sat stiffly on the sofa. No makeup, no filters, just raw fury barely contained. Kylie stayed standing, arms crossed. We've seen the evidence, he said, voice low. Kim, we're disappointed beyond words. Kim's chin trembled, but her eyes remained defiant. I did what I thought was right, Kim said. Kylie was holding the brand back. Kylie's voice, when it came, was heartbreakingly steady. You didn't just betray me, Kim. You betrayed every person who believed in us. Kris stepped forward, voice shaking. You're both my daughters, but Kylie built this from the ground up. She earned it. For once, Kim had no comeback, only silence, heavy, final. And for the first time, Kylie saw it clearly. Kim hadn't just lost the company. She had lost something far bigger, family trust. For a long moment, no one spoke. Kylie felt the weight of the room pressing against her, heavy with disappointment, regret, and loss. Finally, Kim stood, her voice cracking despite herself. I didn't mean for it to go this far, she said quietly, the fight draining from her. I wanted to prove I could do it too. Kylie's chest ached with a complicated mix of anger and sadness. You could have built something of your own, Kim, Kylie said softly. You didn't have to steal mine. Tears welled in Kim's eyes, but she wiped them away quickly, unwilling to show weakness. Kris approached her daughters, voice raw with emotion. This family has survived scandals, betrayals, heartbreaks, she said. But this almost broke us. Kim looked away, shame burning on her face. Kylie turned to her mother. I'm not asking for anyone to pick sides, she said steadily, but Kylie Cosmetics is mine, and it stays that way. No merger, no sellout. We trust you, Kylie, and we're proud of the woman you've become. Kylie swallowed hard, feeling emotion swell in her throat. Maybe they had finally seen her. Not just the youngest daughter, not just a brand, but as a leader, a protector of everything they once dreamed together. Weeks later, Kylie stood before a packed auditorium at Kylie Cosmetics' annual shareholder meeting. Flashes popped from cameras. Reporters leaned forward, waiting for a soundbite. But Kylie wasn't nervous. She was ready. "Recent events have tested us," she began, her voice steady, rich with hard-won confidence. "But we are stronger because of it." Kylie Cosmetics was built on authenticity, innovation, and resilience. Those values still define us, now more than ever. She paused, letting the words settle. "Our future will be driven by integrity, not shortcuts, not betrayal, and not fear." The room erupted in applause, loud and genuine. Backstage, Jonathan, Noah, Emily, her loyal team, beamed with pride. Kylie smiled, feeling a surge of something she hadn't felt in months: peace. Later that evening, as she returned to her Beverly Hills home, her phone buzzed once again. A message from Kim. "You were right. Leadership isn't about power. It's about protecting something bigger than yourself. I'm sorry." Kylie stared at the screen for a long time, her heart heavy but somehow lighter too. Finally, she typed back, "Forgiveness takes time, Kim, but accountability is where it starts. Keep walking that path." Setting the phone down, Kylie stepped onto her balcony, gazing at the city she loved. She had survived the betrayal. She had protected her empire, and most importantly, she had protected herself. The future was hers, on her own terms,